going on, people of the internet? I'm back. Survived another Gen Con. That's always a feat. Gen Con's a lot of fun, but incredibly tiring. Especially for me, I was home for about 12 hours, 20 hours, something like that before I ended up off on the road to Gen Con. As you guys can probably tell by all the... There's 3 suitcases on my bed. I spent an entire time of 4 days home the entire month of July because of work. Got home last night, almost got shipped off again this morning, but managed to kind of get out of that. So I'm going to be home for like, I think 5 or 6 days before I leave to go back on the road, and then I come back for a day, and then it's off to Arizona for the Arizona Regional. So if anybody's going to that, I look forward to seeing y'all. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to play in those events, but I'll be there helping run things, judge, just doing what I can, socialize with the community and be a part of it. So, well, let's get on and talk to Gen Con. Gen Con, awesome. Big props to Aaron, Courtney, and Brian, who we all drove up there together. Great people. If I was going to be in a 15-hour car ride with anybody, I would want it to be those 3 people. Made the car ride very enjoyable, and no one snored in that group. So we were all able to sleep comfortably without worrying about disturbing everybody else in a car. We did all of our panels that we normally do there. Josh and Orange Hat Guy did their drinking games panel. It was a huge success. From what I hear, I didn't go. I was exhausted, so I think I was asleep by the time that panel started because it starts pretty late. That was a big success. The Dragon Ball panel, which is one of my favorite speaking engagements I do every year, was also a big, huge success. There's so much stuff to talk about Dragon Ball this year with Super, Resurrection F, Xenoverse. There's just a ton of stuff to talk about with Dragon Ball this year. So that was cool, and the audience was super engaged, very nice, very knowledgeable, a lot of good discussion in that panel. So if you're going to Gen Con next year and you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you should attend that panel, because this is a panel for people who love Dragon Ball by people who love Dragon Ball. And then Joey and I also did our fantasy football panel. It was a little bit harder this year to do it because Gen Con was a couple weeks earlier than it normally is, and like training camps hadn't started. There had been no preseason stuff, so most of it was just speculation on things, which is fun. You know, that's what a lot of people want to do. We got to talk about different draft formats, different player rankings based on if you're playing PPR, things like that. You know, just how Gronk is kind of a step above every other tight end in the game right now. So kind of what the rookie class looks like doing this year, drafting strategies if you're playing in a dynasty league, those type of things. But that's cool. Also, if you guys are fantasy football fans here at Gen Con next year, you should come. So let's go on to Friday of Gen Con. Ran the annual retro event. I think it's the 5th or 6th year we've done it. We had 30 people this year. Attendance was a little down, but that was expected. There was a lot of people who didn't want to play in retro, where it's so much bigger card pool, and some of the rules are just a little bit different before going into the qualifier on Saturday, which was understandable. But then there was a lot of people who just love retro, and they just wanted to play retro. There's a number of guys that was what they played, and they didn't play in the other one. So that was cool. Top 8 was super cool this year. We had 8 completely different decks. There wasn't a single duplicate in top 8 of retro this year. Brian actually made it using a ball deck, which was one of Josh's builds, which is a little bit different ball deck, but he managed to get in there, the top 8. The finals came down to Scott Dashy with his Burly Sand deck versus Fashbinder with his Black Bojack deck that he won that event with a couple years ago. Scott ended up taking it. He randomly, I don't know if it's random or what, but I mean, I guess this is why the Earth Dragon Balls were so powerful in the old game. Is he won his top 4 match against Didier and his match in the finals by playing all 7 Dragon Balls after just getting pounded on the first couple of turns. So that's probably why the Earth Dragon Balls don't exist in the new game, and they went straight to Namek, you know. So I wouldn't want to have to deal with direct reprints of Earth Dragon Balls. So let's just keep those in retro. So, if we make new ones in PanZ, let's make new ones and not those. So it's been a while since I played retro, and I was like, damn, those things are all ridiculous. Dragon Ball 4, opponent can't start combat next turn. that's pretty crazy. Ending combat with your hand directly from 7. All that's pretty crazy. So that was cool. So I guess he proved that all you have to do is run 7 Dragon Balls and you have a chance of wishing for anything. You know, that you can do it. So big props to Scott. He's played every year for a number of years now. It was cool to see him win. He's had a couple of top 8, top 4 performances in previous years, and it was cool to see him take it home this year. And then big thanks to Panini for donating some products, some playmats, and some promos for that event. And then also big thanks to Miniature Exchange for offering up some prizes as well, and then some stuff with their online store. So big thanks to both of y'all. It's always great to have support from people like you guys. So let's move on to the rest of the convention. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to play in the qualifier, so that was kind of a bummer. You know, I'd love to play in that type of stuff, but I understand why I'm not allowed to. So, but let's talk about the qualifier. There's 224 people in it. That's a lot of people. It's been a long time since most of us have run an event that big. So, but there's a few little hiccups here and there. You know, for whatever reason, it took Ake and I like 5 tries to get the table numbers right. I don't know if it was just because we were tired or we were just outsmarting ourselves thinking about how we were going to lay them out, because we didn't have like all the tables in one area. We had like tables here, then we had 2 tables here, and then 3 tables there, and 4 tables way over there in the corner somewhere. So I think we just outsmarted ourselves, so that took a little bit longer to go than it needed to, but in the end we got it done and everybody knew where they were playing and where they were sitting, so good job. We did it. Qualifier was crazy good, you know. I don't know if you guys watched any of the streams. Since I got home today, I've been watching the streams Next Level Z did. I've been watching, I forgot his name, but I believe it's David Pena's YouTube page because he was recording matches. That was really cool. Some of Didier stuff. I've been watching some of Didier stuff also, which is really cool to see his stuff. Brian, unfortunately, ended up going 6-2 and got bubbled out of Top Cut. But good showing from him, you know. I think he might have been the only player from Texas there. I can't think if there's actually anybody else from Texas there. So, way to represent. And then Phil won. He beat out Sean in the finals. Good job to both of those guys. They played the game for a long time. They played the old game. They played Reezy. They've both played in retro stuff over the years. So it was cool to see them go into the new game and continue to do well. And it was cool to see the old players do really well. But it was even better and more awesome to see all the new people doing well in the tournament. And getting to meet a bunch of the new people. Like I know most of the old school guys from when I used to play, from when I worked at Score, then from the retro stuff, but all the new guys that I see on the retro Facebook group page that came up and talked to me and whatnot. It was awesome, man. It's great to get to put a face to the profile pic, I guess. I used to say the face to the username on a message board, but now I guess it's the face to your Facebook profile face, like a real life face, you know. So that was super awesome. Shook a million hands. Kind of got the con funk now, I think, because it was just a lot of you know, fist bumping, bro hugs, and whatever else with everybody. But that's just part of the, you know, that's part of the fun of it. It's just getting to see everybody hang out. So that was super awesome. It was also great to get to see the rest of the design team. I think everybody made it, but my brother and Sean, which was unfortunate. Neither one of them could come, but it was cool to actually get to see everybody. We talked to each other all the time online and on the phone and everything else, but it's very rare we're all actually face to face with each other, and it was awesome to see Kunk. I haven't seen Kunk in years, so it was really cool to get to see Kunk. I'm glad he's doing well, and hopefully we'll get to see each other again and hang out more outside of just like the convention Dragon Ball Z thing. That would be awesome. I always liked Kunk. He was a cool guy. But other than that, it was great. You know, this year I actually played card games there. Last couple of years I brought all these cards. Never got a never got a chance to play anything. I played one round of DBZ, one game of DBZ this year, which is better than I've managed to get in the last 2 years. But I did, since I wasn't allowed to play in the qualifier, I did play Force of Will in their tournament, which was fun. I just recently got in that game about a couple weeks ago, and I ended up playing. It was a 5-round tournament, 32 people. I ended up going 2-2-1, which I'm actually pretty pleased with that performance, because up until that tournament, I'd only ever played 5 games of that in my lifetime. So managing to go 2-2-1 in that tournament, I was pleased with that. The decks I beat were decks that I actually knew of, had seen, and was able to study deck list and match videos. These new starter decks came out that were pretty ridiculous. They came with Regalia, which I'd only read about online, but until I actually had them played against me, I didn't have any idea really what they were doing. But Regalia is pretty good, so I immediately went out and bought all those box things that came with the Regalia and Lancelot, because those cards are awesome, and that's going to be very format defining. Also ran into Vlad Tepes, which was one of the new things that came out of this big like 2-player introduction box thing. So I picked up a couple of these. Anybody who thinks about getting into Force of Will, this is where you want to start. This comes with like all the dual lands, thunders, all that awesome cool stuff that you need to kind of start your competitive play in that game. So you can pick up a couple of these and a couple of the new dual deck things that come with Lancelot and Excalibur, and you're on your way to having a pretty mean setup there. Also picked up some playmats. Massive Kill La Kill fan, so I went to Ultra Pro, bought a Kill La Kill playmat, which is awesome. I love Kill La Kill. I would play Kill La Kill in Wise Sports if I actually wanted to play Wise Sports. Those cards look beautiful, but I just can't get into that game. So, and it's really hard and really frustrating when I look at that game and I see Kill La Kill, Sword Art Online, and Attack on Titan, which are like 3 of the more recent anime shows that I really liked. And I'm just like, God, why can't those play in a DBZ type game? That would be awesome. So, also got another playmat, Next Level Z, Play, Analyze, Win. Very cool guys. Always happy to support them. So if you have a chance to see them at one of their other things they're going to be doing, I suggest you guys pick up a playmat. Help support them, because it's good for the community to give back like that. And then the last thing I picked up this year was ongoing tradition. I buy my alternate universe Star Trek box. Maybe this is a year I finally pulled the Future Enterprise. I bought 1 box of these at every Gen Con I've ever gone to, which now is like 12 or 13. And I've been trying to pull this Future Enterprise since I was a kid, and this set came out in like 1994, 1995. It's considered by many to be the first ultra rare ever in card games, and it's incredibly rare, and I've probably opened 20 or 30 of these boxes over the years and never pulled one. So maybe the tradition will end this year and I'll actually pull the Future Enterprise. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Outside of that, we have some more cool stuff coming to the site. I'll have some more kind of write-ups about Gen Con. Our Retro's social media master and Clark Kent reporter extraordinaire Joshua Morris was there. He's going to have some information about some of the Upper Deck products coming out. He's got some information on the Cryptozoic Attack on Titan game. He also sat down with a one-on-one interview with Ake for a while, and they talked about all types of cool stuff about what's coming out with the game this fall. There's some real neat tidbits about the next set in there also, so you guys should pay attention to the site. Watch out for that, because it's going to be a really cool interview. Josh did a great job with that, and then Ake was also did a great job in giving people some information and talking about things very candidly, which was cool to actually get to hear from him. Ake doesn't usually talk to a lot of people, but I'm super glad he sat down and was able to talk to everybody. And then outside of that, I think that's, oh yes, and we also have some stuff coming about the Jazzco miniature game that's on Dragon Ball Z. They picked up the license to do Dragon Ball Z miniatures that work in an arena fighting game and a board game system they have coming out. And the first 4 properties that are being introduced into this system, which I thought was super awesome. I kind of really want these things because I love all 4 of these things they're launching with. They're launching with Dragon Ball Z, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Cowboy Bebop. So I'm kind of super pumped for that. So it's always been a dream to have Goku fight Ryu and then have like Vegeta fight Scorpion. So boom, we always wanted to do that with Epic Battles, and we tried to get Dragon Ball Z and Epic Battles at Score, but they wouldn't let us for some reason mix those properties. But I'm glad that 10 years later somebody was able to do that. So I'm really looking forward to that. As always, I guess, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. This video went a little bit longer, but I mean, it was a big weekend, Gencon, so a lot of stuff to talk about, crazy stuff happening in the game, everybody's sharing their deck list and experiences online. I encourage everybody to go read those things, and if you get a chance to go to any of the regionals or anything like that throughout the year, I suggest you take that up. It's really cool to get to go and interact with everybody on the community. So, as always, guys, if anybody's going to Arizona, I'll see you in Arizona unless something happens with work and I can't go. Let's keep our fingers crossed. You know, as always, guys, play nice, be kind to each other, support your local hobby store. And until next time, everybody, keep on rocking the dragon.